The cycle of terrible cataclysms, which the Earth now has to go through, occurs on the planet every 12,000 years, and it has been described by various researchers in many scientific works and books. The Earth's core creates a magnetic field. The Earth's magnetic poles are movable. Their sudden shift is called geomagnetic excursion. And note in which time intervals such excursions took place over the last 120,000 years. The interval between them is approximately 12 to 13,000 years. It is shocking that at the same time, there were sharp rises in world sea level, glaciation, and the strongest volcanic eruptions. Each time during such excursions, the magnetic field of the Earth became 8 to 10 times weaker, and this led to an increase in the flux of cosmic radiation. Modern science cannot explain why geomagnetic excursions coincide with dramatic climate change and glaciations. At the end of 20th century, Hartmut Heinrich did a great study. He collected data on the bottom sediment of seas, lakes, and rivers. And using them, he reconstructed all the dramatic temperature changes over the past 100,000 years. These changes were called Heinrich events. Each such cycle corresponds to a short period of glaciation, preceded by a sharp warming of the planet by 8 to 10 degrees Celsius. Dating the Heinrich events, Sidney Hemming in 2004 published her version of the periodicity of the abrupt temperature changes, where the events of the 12,000-year cycle clearly stand out. Geologists have also studied organic material from sediments over the past 75,000 years, which indicate the periodicity of the melting of massive glaciers. Douglas Vogt, geologist, has analyzed the carbon-14 dating of sediments and listed the works supporting this glaciation in his book. The data obtained irrefutably prove that glacial periods have cyclicity of about 12,000 years. It is known that over the past 100,000 years, as a result of melting glaciers, the level of the world's ocean has changed dramatically by 20 to 50 meters many times. This was reflected in the sediment of marine flooding. And also geologists recorded that over the past 2 million years, simultaneously with the glacial periods and polar inversions, there was an increase in volcanic activity. Another proof of the 12,000-year cycle was the eruption of the Toba volcano 72 to 74,000 years ago. It was one of the strongest eruptions on Earth in the past 25 million years. Archaeologists believe that across the whole planet, only 2 to 10,000 people survived in this catastrophe, and that humanity passed through a so-called bottleneck. In other words, it was one step away from extinction. The most destructive volcanic eruption in history, which occurred in other 12 millennial cycles, were the eruption of Phlegraean Fields, Taupo volcano in New Zealand, Lake volcano in Europe, Mount Vesuvius, Santorini, Ira, and many others. Such is the cycle of 12,000-year cataclysm in its apogee. And this time, it will be stronger than usual because it falls on a difficult period of time when a very sick planet, which we ecologically tormented, is added to a 24,000-year cycle. We have already faced a ruthless enemy that is destroying us. We have no time to continue staying idle, as the synchronization and cascade of the ongoing cataclysms is growing inexorably. We need to find a solution on how to put up a defense against our only external enemy. The enemy is strong, therefore all the power of uniting 8 billion people is needed. We need to use all our scientific potential, but this is impossible in the format of consumer society we have now. Today, science serves private capital, not the salvation of humankind. That is why we so urgently need the format of creative society, where it is not the private interest that will dominate, but our common human interest that will. We must hurry to unite and mobilize all scientists. All scientific, technical, and intellectual potential needs to be invested in one task: finding solutions to counter the impact of cyclicality, since every action has its counteraction. We will be able to find a solution to avoiding climate collapse and to humankind survival only when all of humanity consolidates. The choice is up to us. It's up to each one of us. It's up to you.